Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kai-Fi. I'm glad you could be here. If you are new to this channel, welcome. This is a Kai-Fi theory. And if you are returning, what's goody? You know how we do. So I don't even know what kind of reading this is going to be today, because I got message on message on messages, right? And I'm going to just start it up because it's going to be a collective reading. So hold on one second. This is going to be a reading on all of your senses in regards to the unconscious senses and the conscious senses. And we're also going to talk a little bit about ADHD and how it all goes into itself. So the title that I'm going to choose for this reading is We Are Agent Smith. We are the Opps. And what does that mean? I figured out something. We say Neo as if it's the neocortex, but on my board, on the Zin-Finity Board, the neocortex is in the light. So if the neocortex is in the light and Neo wears black, this is how it came to me, right? If Neo wears black, what does Neo represent in the first place? So initially I thought Neo represents us as like our trial to try to get past this whole system and all that nonsense that it said before, right? But as I started to think about it, this is on the light side. On the dark side, you have three parts of the brain, right? You have the neocortex, the midbrain, and the reptilian brain, reptilian cortex, whatever, right? So that's these three right here. So Neo dresses in black. Black is over here. Neo represents the reptilian cortex, not the neocortex. Everything is backwards, and when you turn it to represent spirit, Neo represents spirit. What does it mean? What does it make everything? It makes us the Opps, because everything that Neo had to face is us and our mistakes and things like that. Us popping up, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to change, I don't want to do this. And spirit is fighting us, knowing everything that we're about to do, getting past itself. But the thing is, it's a solo journey. We have our own spirit. So when we watch movies like that, what happens? So I want to go into some of the messages before I get too out of hand. It's everywhere. All the messages are everywhere. I don't even know where to start. So I'm just giving it to you like I asked God to give me clarity during this reading, because my mind is all over the place. 3 hours ago I had this concept and I haven't sat down since. Basically I've been moving and moving and moving and moving to set this up. So all fantasy represents how the spirit is trying to get to us, and we are the Opps in all fantasy movies, shows, everything. We are the Opps. So the people in the shows, the one that we like, the ones that we gravitate towards, represent spirit, not us. And this is why it's usually magical, right? Because spirit does magical things. Earth, fire, wind, water, air, ether, right? It's just like there's so much to go by when you're talking about the fantasy and how that represents spirit. And pick your favorite fantasy show, movie, and understand that you gravitated towards it because that resonated with your spirit specifically and the mission that is here to do. So what happens when you watch a show like that? What happens when those emotions are relieved? There's a there's a fake off that the world has set up. So watching these movies, when the character goes through those things, it kind of tricks our deep consciousness and makes us believe that the mission, the energy that spirit gave us to fulfill the goal, the mission, whatever, is complete. So we relax in our ignorance, right? Thinking that the mission is complete because spirit is getting the signals of, oh, you did it, because the spirit does not see. It only registers what we tell it, right? We see some things and we register it as, okay, this means this, and our spirit reacts to it. We get triggered from that kind of information. So it keeps going. I hope that I'm speaking clearly, because I need to keep going. So again, we are the Opps. Agent Smith turned into anything. When you understand that when you're trying to get through something, when you're trying to get to something, everything pops up in your way, and you wind up in this solo lonely journey, right? Why is that? Because when you're by yourself, you're absent of everything else but full in the presence of your selfness, right? So your spirit is basically surrounding you, and nobody's taking that energy. Regardless of what's happening, it's coming from you, and you're dealing with it and managing it. So again, all of the truth in every movie, even though you resonate with the character, which is your spirit, not your consciousness, not your conscious self. It represents your spirit trying to get to you. The goal of that, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but I'm going to keep going. In the root chakra is known as survival, right? The root chakra is right here. Let me move this again. The root chakra is right here, and it's known as survival. So what does that mean? At the end of the day, we want to survive. But did anything change during your quest for survival? Or do you just remember a moment where you were safe and you recreated that same safe bubble, which led you back to the same start of the cycle with more information and more knowledge and more experience how to get out of it, but it's safe now? Did anything change? Or did you just remember that safe bubble and make it bigger to make it now the new thing that helps you out, the new thing that keeps you safe? So the message was, survival is failure to change. So don't think that just because you're surviving, you're doing something good. No, God got you, so you're going to survive no matter what. God wants you to change and be and become the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So that requires you to move and not just try to be safe. Your safety is guaranteed. You came here to learn, and if you basically, I can just reiterate everything you've been hearing so far. So yeah, so let's go to the senses and how this came to ADHD, right? So I'm looking up the Clair-Senses, right? Let me just go over the Clair-Senses really quickly, and then the conscious senses really quickly. So here we go. Alright, so on the conscious side, what we're familiar with, and if I'm talking about any person who's neurodivergent, I believe it is, not neurotypical, neurodivergent and or ADHD and above, right? I would say because I'm figuring this out for myself. I'm not absolutely sure, but so many things are making sense about the way I operate. So not like I believe it, but it's plausible. It's definitely right there. So when I came into this knowledge about myself, everything just started to click. What was I missing the whole time? We're missing that connection to spirit, Neo, the one that's trying to get to us, Trinity, right? We, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Trinity. We are Trinity. Everything is backwards. Reverse it, the truth. We're trying to get to us. The reason why Neo couldn't get rid of the system is because he loved Trinity. We've done that before. God reset the earth before. Why do it again? We love what we came. God loves us, so we're gonna figure out another way to do it. And because of love, because God so loved us, the world, and all that stuff, He gave His Son. Right? I promise you, it keeps going. So let that swirl in your mind, because it's been swirling in my mind for like 3 hours. You're welcome. So the Clair-Senses, right, are the senses that I'm saying we, as in like I have not a deficiency, it's a superpower. It's a polarity in the mind. I am of the mind. I'm a mental person, right? We are all mental people, and there are scales to it. That's how I'm thinking of it now. Some people was all the way in the mental and can't do anything else but mental stuff. And some people all the way in the spirit and have no ambition and things like that. But some people have only ambition and no team to help them get there. No way to connect to their mind. They have the vision but no faculty. So it goes many ways, but you can understand where this is going. So the Clair-Senses connect you with your conscious mind to what your spirit is telling you. So emotions are senses, and I can't say regular senses, our conscious senses are senses too. So there are spiritual senses and conscious senses. So let me go up the line from 10 to 0 of the conscious senses really quickly. And then I'm going to do the Clair-Senses, and then I'm going to get the cards down and talk about them the regular reading style that I normally do. Because I have to move on. I hope this is going to calculate. I hope this is going to be good. Alright. I'm going to go from 0 to 10. I'm going to start backwards for a reason, right? Starting at 0, we have touch. That's one of the senses we're so familiar with, and I don't really have to explain that. But the sense of touch has to do with communication, it has to do with vibration, and a creative identity, and the planet Pluto, Scorpio, that kind of thing. Scorpio, this is your area. This is the place where you do better than anyone in this world, and this is a place of I know, which is your knowledge. We're gonna come back to it in order, but I'm gonna just keep going. Next up is Pisces, right? Where this is the crown chakra. This is the third chakra. This is the crown chakra. So in the crown chakra, there's a sense of temperature, and understand that's that soul fire. When you're heated up, you understand. When you're in the zone, you understand. Those are like, that's a physical and a mental that I just gave to you to understand when your soul is superpowered, was charged up and working, and you can recognize it. So when you're extra aggravated, heated and stuff like that, you can feel it in your body, and it's almost like you have to just relax. But when it's in your mind and your body, you in the zone. When you're in the mind, you're daydreaming and stuff like that, you're thinking, creative. It's all in the mind, but it has different functions. So yeah, so your crown chakra is the temperature, your sense of temperature. Next up is these two right here, which is represented right here, which is the dark and the light side of the third eye, which is Hokmah and Bina, right? So that was Ketha, that was the throat chakra, which is Da'at, Ketha, Bina, Hokmah, right? So with these four, you have balance naturally, because when you see yin yang, that's where the first balance is, and it's also known as duality and things like that. Though there are laws also. So yeah, moving on from there, we have over here in the wheel, or chesed, which is proprioception. I think I'm saying it correctly, hopefully. Proprioception is basically body awareness. This is your conscious senses. This is what we have when you're in the mental. You have the most conscious awareness of. All of your energy is here. So all of these points that are connected to this area is where you function highly. Right? So that's proprioception, right? The next sense is pain. Now, I had to tie, well, I'm gonna keep going. This is, the pain is in Geburah, which is of desire, right? So there's a sense for pain. The next one is taste. This is something that you really, that's one of the senses that we grew up on, basically, right? So we have taste right here in the heart chakra, which is Tiferet. And holding that sac on the solar plexus, we have smell. Now, Going from there, we have at your side the sacral chakra, vision. So this is see. And from there, we have at the root chakra, which is hearing, right? So you have hear, see, taste, smell, touch. So I left it like that on purpose so you can understand the 5 senses that we're most familiar with. So what I want to do right now is go down the line and match the 2 senses together so you can understand which one is which one on both sides. So on the conscious sense, it's one way, and then the unconscious sense is another way, right? That's the regular senses and the Clair-Senses. We're going to understand this later, right? So starting with 0 at the throat chakra, Da'at, we have touch and clear tangency. At Ketha, the crown chakra, we have temperature and clear cognizance. At the throat chakra is Scorpio. Here at the crown chakra is Pisces. On the light side, the next one is the third eye, which is the sense of balance and clairsentience, right? And it reminded me of the Sentinels from the Matrix, and that's what kind of tripped it off of me. And I said, wait a minute, right? So that's what happened. So when I got here, that's what led me to this reading today. So it's balance and clairsentience, right? And on the light side is Aquarius. On the dark side is Capricorn. Then at the place of will, Chesed, right? We have clear intellect and proprioception. I think I said it right. Proprioception. And that's body awareness. So your conscious awareness of everything outside of your body. Everything that we consciously, and we thought that that was the first point of view, is actually like one point of view we have. Our first mind that we think is us is our one of the views that we have. Spirit has a view too. So I hope that makes sense. So at the will, we have the sense of proprioception and clear intellect, and this is the sign of Sagittarius, right? Over here in Gebra, which is desire, we have pain, and this is empathy, clear empathy, right? And this is Aries. I forgot. Right. So moving on from there, we have at the heart chakra, this is taste, and the clear sense is clairgustance. So you have to look that up. I'm going to talk about it later. From there, we go to the solar plexus, which is, you know, on the heart chakra is the Leo. On the solar plexus is 4 signs, and that's Gemini, Libra, Taurus, and Virgo, right? That's all 4 of y'all over here right now. So you guys deal with smell and clairsalience, right? I hope I'm saying all of these correctly, so you can look it up. Next is at the sacral chakra, your side. This is vision, so seeing, your sight. And it is also clairvoyance. So this is the place where you see and clairvoyant at the same time. So that's where it's come from. And lastly, we end off at the root, which is clairaudience or hearing. And it doesn't have a sign, but I think that's wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. Because where is officious or officious, whatever, however you say it, I think you guys are the sign of the root, because it's either that, the sign of the root, or the sign of the whole mind in general, because you represent the O, and the O is in different places, and I found it. But at the root, where you root into source, is where you are, and that's what I believe. So if you also thinking about the calendar, in my opinion, you guys are after December, so that making you the 13th month, and then you go to January, February, March. So, and I only get that, let me just say it, okay, when you work backwards, because everything, the truth is backwards. All truth is backwards. Look at the movies for the people that's playing as the backwards. You're the people in the way. In your own life, you are in the way of spirit showing you the way. That's what's happening. It's crazy. See it the opposite way. Yeah. Alright, so that was a bit lengthy, but I hope you got what you needed to understand from it. But I always timestamp my reading, so if you just wanted to see the reading, you know, you could do that. So, what is the Zin-Finity Board? Now we're going to get to the reading. What is the Zin-Finity Board? The Zin-Finity Board is an elementally energetic grid that flows on a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind. These 10 boxes are going to be blacked out, right? All aspects of the mind in a still life fashion. So what does that mean? If your life can go on pause and there was a menu, this is that menu. Point blank. So what does it look like when your life is on pause and you can just say, okay, I want to do this, then this. And that's the type of reading I created. So we're going to go down all aspects of the mind. You have 10 perspectives, 5 energies, and 5 universal functions, basically, right? So, and then also the law of care, which is another sense in itself, right? Oh, I almost forgot the last sense. I'm gonna talk about it later. But it's time, before I forget. Chronoception, time. So it's actually 10 senses that I counted, and all 10 senses fit on here, and it doesn't overlap. So if there's more, when there's more, I'll let you know. I'll find them, right? So now that my mind is a little bit more at ease, I feel more at ease that now that I was able to speak that. So we're gonna go into the reading. Give me a second to get all the cards down. I'm not gonna do it in parts. I'm gonna do it in parts, but all the cards are gonna be here at the same time now. So I shuffle. I don't cheat. I don't like that because there are too many coincidences set up here for me to even want to. It's better and more authentic when it's real. So let's do that. And that's gonna happen right about now. Alright, so I managed to do all of it without flipping cards over. That was like, alright. What does this mean? As I said before, the black cards are 10 perspectives in your mind. They never overlap, and they pinpoint everything that could be there in a perspective that you may hold wherever, right? So the red cards are all energy. There are 5 energies here. So let's go over what this means. This is I know, I be, I want, I need, I will, I desire, I love, I do, I feel, and then I am. Those are your 10 I's, and you cannot say anything else in this world when you want to describe anything about yourself or what you're doing without using these perspectives. Next up is who, what, when, where, and why. So now that you have I, you have everything outside of you that we're talking about right now. So I use the oracles right now because it's funny because I have the 10 I's, then the 5 oracles, and then the 5 universal kind of functions that you can do within unity functions. Thank you. Unity functions that you can do. So that's experimentation. Well, let me do the oracles real quick. Who is in the world of emanation? That's fire. What is in the world of manifestation? That's earth. When is in the world of formation, and that's air. Where is in the world of creation, and that's water. Why is in source, and that's above ether. I just want to say above ether, just to leave it like that, right? Because ether is in this box right here. And right, unity functions, I almost forgot it. 5 unity functions. So these goes for these are the ifs, right? So if you do something, and that means that these two are aligned doing something together in unity. So that's why it's a you. IOU. This is what we're going to talk about it. If you experiment, if you express, if you integrate, if you transcend, and then you will ascend, right? You can do this indefinitely, and that's what we're here doing. We're experimenting, we're expressing, we're integrating, we're transcending, and then we're ascending. Transcend is like getting a Pidgey to level 16, and then when it goes to Pidgeotto, it ascends. So that's the difference. And with all that said and done, let's get the reading started. So, in the perspective of I know, which is your sense of touch, or the unconscious sense, Clair-Sense of clairtangency. Let's get it real quick. So, clairtangency is touch, but don't think about it as just friction, right? Or anything like that. It's more like pulse. When you touch somebody's pulse, you can feel everything that's happening on the inside. So there's more to touch than what you think it is, right? And touch is also the place where vibration is at its highest. It comes from the throat. There's so much to talk about. But yeah, this is the King of Cups. So let's see about what you know. So compassion, control, and balance. The first card that came up had balance in it, and that's funny because after we situate this, it has to be balanced. This is elementally energetic, so this King of Cups is offsuit. It's imbalanced. So this is fire, this is air, and that means water can't be here. It has to be fire or air, and that is not offsuit. Something wrong with your knowledge. You're imbalanced for some kind of reason, and it has to do with what you're passionate about. So we're gonna get down to that really quickly. But moving on down the senses, this was Scorpio, right? I didn't say it in the beginning, but I'm gonna tag it. Next up is Pisces, which is IB, your being at the beginning and the end of every day, right? Who you're gonna be, who you're gonna wind up being, or who you're gonna become. Doesn't matter which one. So this is represented by the Empress, and that's a major arcana card. All major arcana cards represent the movement of love from point to point, perspective to perspective, the energy exchange function. Right now it's the Empress. So let's get it. This is beauty. Okay, so any card that's here, doesn't matter what card it is, but the Empress, if this card winds up being offsuit, which is the Earth location, that means that your essential being can fix the issue regardless, and it has to do with fear. So your being is naturally absent of fear. So when you are fearful, you're not being who you are. So that can be a clear tag right now. Where do I go where I feel fear? I'll figure out why, because it triggers you, and you're supposed to walk with courage, and the fact that it can affect you is not a problem, but if it didn't, you'll feel better. But that's the Empress, and this is beauty, fertility, nurturing, luxury, and creativity. So you have all of the manifestation at your disposal. And it's crazy that the Empress is here, because the Empress represents the circle of the yin yang on this board, right? So that's crazy by itself. A lot of things is lining up right now. So that was Pisces. Understand that I'm saying different signs, but in order of the energy from source to root. And what that means is we are all signs, just in different energies, right? So I'm a Cancer, so my opposite is what? So my opposite is Capricorn, right? I had to look it up just now. And it was about basically your energetic kind of fingerprint, where your energy has the most focus and the most power. So wherever your sign is the most powerful for you, right? But we are all of them, so we have access to all power, all different types. These are the pieces of God. I'm just reading over it. If the first universal principle is all is mine, this is the all mine. And the reason why this is so important to me is because I'm going to be creating an app that anybody who is interested in anything spiritual at all, metaphysical at all, can go there and actually learn past everything that we know and make it all make sense. That's what I'm going to be there. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I'm going to be asking the readers that are online to be a part of it. Imagine your favorite reader doing what I'm doing at their pace and their method and in their genius. Are you kidding me? You guys helped me get here. I was so inspired sitting here waiting to figure this out while I'm listening to y'all help me out in my daily. Crazy. This is payback, and just wait. Payback is real. Payback is real. You're gonna figure it out. But like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You know, if you like this content. I got many different types of readings, and I figured out that it's gonna keep going. I got already 3 different types of readings that, yeah. So moving on, in the third eye we have, on the light side we have Aquarius, and on the dark side we have Capricorn, right? And this is it's Clair-Sentience, sorry. So this represents the yin yang right here, the light and the dark side of the yin yang. But I put it outside because it just looked prettier, honestly. But it's represented on this side by the Queen of Cups, and this is off suit on the light side. And on the dark side is the 5 of Cups, and that's on suit, so we're good there, right? But as I said before, your essential being can clear this out, because it can be earth or fire on these 2, and water or air on these 2. So let's get the Queen of Cups really quickly. This is compassion, calm, and comfort. See, calm and comfort made me think of stagnancy. And if you gotta go, okay, if you're headed somewhere and then there's a river, you can't get across the river without some kind of manifestation, a boat, a bridge, something, a kayak, whichever, choose. Swim your own body, but it's some kind of way that you're gonna get over there, and you have to use it. But the thing is, this is just more water to add to the BS. This is more emotions to add to the span that you need to cross. So you're adding more in the place where it doesn't need to be. You're doing things that you don't need to do, and there's an energy of stubbornness behind it. But you know, stubbornness can do 2 things. It can teach you quick or take a long time to teach you. But usually stubborn people, they have kind of the best epiphanies. I'll be jealous. Like ignorant, stubborn people, when they figure something out, it'd be like, I wish I could be you right now. But yeah, on the dark side where Capricorn is, that was Aquarius. On the dark side where Capricorn is, we have the 5 of Cups. It is loss, grief, and disappointment. And the reason why that's good is because I said you were doing too much here because you're being triggered a lot, but you got rid of many of the triggers. But when you got rid of the triggers, you also got rid of the things that had anything to do with the triggers. So it's like, if that involved people, the people are now gone. If that involved things, those things you couldn't hold on to if you tried. A place that you like, yeah, you wonder why you can't get there. You wonder why there's never no time to get there. Alright, gotta let it go. The signs come in many ways, and it's talking through these perspectives, and we can figure them out. So let's keep going. Next up is the 6 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles. If this was reversed, it'd be perfect. but it's not. So that means that seeing from the opposite perspective, look at what you desire and go after it. And the things that you have to do, make sure that you can keep it up. That's what that's saying. So the Six of Cups is off suit and the Eight of Pentacles is off suit. Now, on Chesed, which is the will, you have Sagittarius, and that is proprioception, and that's body awareness, and it has to do with your clear intellect, right? Basically, anytime you hear clear, it means clear, right? But clear thinking, clear intellect, that's what that means really. So with awareness and clear thinking, that's the best position to be within your mind in order to do what you want. And it's represented by the Six of Cups. So let's see. There's a lot of cups. There's a lot of emotions right now. And this might be why. Let's see. Familiarity, happy memories, and healing. So if you keep going to the same store for food that you see only in supermarkets on your phone, how you gonna get what you need? You only know one destination. There are many different destinations to go to, where different coincidences, God can line you up. You know, being lined up by God is not always a bad thing, right? But those memories in the past are also things that you are letting go, right? And the reason why you're letting go is so you can move forward. The less you're holding on to, the faster you can move forward. It's literally weight, and you're a chariot, and you have to pull all of that crap until you learn the lesson. Learning the lesson lightens the load. So this is the load, the Eight of Pentacles that I'm talking about, and you're just adding to it according to what you're creating in your mind as seeds. These are seeds of manifestation, but no, these are not seeds of manifestation. These are things that are manifested, things that are here already that you think is for you, but it's not giving you the results that you need because it's something completely new. Yeah. So the Eight of Pentacles. So diligence, passion, and high standards. This is the area of Aries, right? The self, the selfness, right? It's not selfish, selfness. Like consciousness, selfness. And the reason why this is funny, you're stubborn because you have high standards. You have fantasies, and just fantasies is not the dream. You have fantasies in where you're using something that you're so focused on, and that's the way that you're going to get to the next step. That's the bridge to cross. Even though it's 30 miles over there and you only got 1 gallon of gas. That's the bridge. So you're going to go and leave your whole apparatus, the car, and walk and be worse off just to get to a place where you could have just made a left turn. That left turn turned you, put you into a tunnel or something like that, and then there's a gas station on the other side. So like I said, God lines you up, but you got to be willing to look around to find where you're supposed to go. And it's always right there. It's always right there. Like an hour and a half ago, I was looking at this piece of paper saying, I wonder what it is. Literally, it was on the other side of the piece of paper. So I was sitting there for 5 minutes trying to figure out the information that was on the other side of the paper. And the crazy thing is, what's on the other side of the paper, I wrote months ago. So I just found a piece of paper to write on, and it matched the Clair-Senses perfectly. So that's crazy to me. I don't know about y'all, but that's how I listen to God. Oh, you want to do this? What's happening? What's this? And then I sit still, I listen, I interpret, and then I either make a choice. I believe it's real, or I believe that it's just me BSing, right? Whichever one it is, God's gonna say, okay, You chose to listen, and this was your decision. So I got you in the first place. I got you regardless. It wasn't me, but let's see what we can do with this decision that you made. There's a safety net that's coming up right now. So moving on, we have in the heart chakra the Lovers. The Lovers is an air card, and this is offsuit. So there's a lot offsuit right now. This is the area of Leo, and this is the sense of taste and clairgustance. So that's basically, you know, the tongue, but or that kind of thing going on. You know how they say you can taste victory? That's what that taste is. It's an energetic sense of an emotion that you would feel achieving something. You can taste it. Like you're running, you're in first place. I'm about to make it, I'm about to make it. That's that feeling. That's that. That's tasting an emotion. That's tasting. And it's crazy because our body does not match the spirit. Our eyes is probably one of the only things that match up with the spirit. One of the only, no, not even that. Not even that. Because what we see, spirit feels. That's spirit's feelings receptors. What we see out of our eyes is what spirit's feeling. So it's all backwards. The information is all backwards. Watch when I get this app. It's gonna make sense. That's all I want to do. Make it make sense. You know that quote, make it make sense? That's gonna be a whole tag in this, I promise you. Make it make sense? Okay, I will challenge it. I will challenge whatever doesn't make sense to make it make sense. I will challenge it. It's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna be by myself. We're gonna do it together. Next up is the Ten of Swords. And this is the solar plexus, right? Gemini, Libra, Virgo, Taurus, right? This is your sense of smell, and it is clairsalience. So you smell a defeat. You smell a wall. You smelt it. You knew it was about to come. Like, what is that? Like, you know how you smell some like poop just around you, like looking around, like, did I step on it? Is it me? That kind of thing. You were wary, started to get wary of it, but knew it was gonna happen regardless. But this is a mental thing, something that your mind caused a lot of anxiety before it actually happened. So this is the place where you're doing, and this person is not doing anything but has all the keys, and that's also good too. So let's see, let's look at the Lovers over here, and then let's look at the Ten of Swords. So partnership, union, and duality. And duality goes between spirit and the ego, that kind of thing. The divine masculine, divine feminine, that kind of thing. A unity between that causes growth. That's what that means. And this has to do with your space. So spirit wants you to claim your space back as much as you want to. And imagine spirit knowing and seeing all of these things happening in the background. Oh, this is what they're telling you, because these are spiritual senses, and they happen and they go through the ether. So we receive these messages through our spirit. And that's why sometimes when somebody don't say nothing, you can also feel them saying something, and you think, oh, it's insecurity. No, you are aware of something in the ether. It's not only insecurity. I would even admit that sometimes it is. But when you know, and you can't let it go. Why? Because your spirit won't let it. Your spirit would not let you let it go. You've been through this before. And honestly, your spirit, how many times your spirit been down here? Because this is the first time your body's been down here. It's the first time your mind's been here. But not your spirit. Not your soul. And on the other side over here, we have the Ten of Swords. And that's failure, collapse, and defeat. Naturally, I was saying before, but to be defeated is defeated in the ego, because you are never defeated or broken, or spirit protects you. So defeat is an illusion. You have nothing but no choice to take these keys with you. And the crazy thing is, you couldn't get these keys by yourself, because it requires you to be stabbed. I call it shadow stabbing. That's when somebody's spirit attacks you and there's no evidence of it. And when you have ADHD or some kind of, you know, when you're in the mental all the time, you think that you're bugging, but you're not. You're becoming aware, or these senses are screaming at you and you're trying to figure it out. What is it? What is it? What is it? The reason why you don't have the energy to do things is because energy is in the spirit. And when they call it body doubling, right? When somebody's spirit is around you, it naturally powers you, because in the ether, that energy is coming out and leaking into you, empowering what your mind was capable of doing the whole time. So we're all in the mind and require spiritual nurturing of a sort. That's all you require, is nurturing. But you can nurture yourself once you get to understand these Clair-Senses. So these are the keys. Moving on, in the Sacral chakra, we have the Four of Swords, and it's also off suit. There's a lot off suit right now. It's not much that's on suit. I guess I gotta talk about it. So let's get the Four of Swords really quick. So rest, restoration, and contemplation. This is the place where you need to feel. Feelings bring the emotions, which are the energy, right? If you're in your mind, you're forcing yourself not to feel, but you need it to pass the energy along to the place that it needs to be. And yeah, that's it. That's all I needed to say with that. Next, okay. This is the place of Cancer, you know, my sign, and it's off suit. Like I said, this is your sense to see, and the clear sense of clairvoyance, right? So Cancers are the masters at that. In the root chakra, which is Malkut, the kingdom, right? What other sign could it be? The only other sign it could be is a fishes. Because if you think about it, there are 13 months, and I believe a fishes comes after December, before the new year starts. So, you know, we're gonna find it this year, most likely, when the fishes is exactly. But I believe it's after December, making it the 13th month, and the reason why they scared the 13th in the first place. But yeah, I rep 13 any day, if that's the case. 13 is Christ consciousness, so let's do that. So at the root chakra, this is the Hermit card. Oh, the Hermit is an Earth card, so we're good, we're good, we're good. We're not fearful, we're just so confused. You have no fear, because being by yourself with the thing, once you find out what it is, and that's how I feel right now. What happens if I went through my whole life not knowing that I needed to look at myself different than other people, thinking that I could not equate, compete with anything that I was seeing, because I didn't know how to speak to my own self. I didn't know how to operate with myself. Imagine that. I'm over here thinking that I can't, but I'm just different. And they called it late discovery, right? My mind is all over the place in clarity right now, and epiphanies and clarifications, and I'm also upset at the same time. Like, you mean to tell me you couldn't tell me this earlier, Spirit? Like, all the times? No. You had to go through the whole... Me, I'm talking to myself. I had to go through the whole thing to figure it out. Why? Because there was a message deep down in that darkness. There's a gift deep down in that darkness that you needed to go scoop up with this Hermit card, because you're not scared. You're not scared of nothing. You're not scared of what was needed. You have something in you. You were born with something in you that at the end of any day, you would just be by yourself and okay with it. You know God. You can see God almost. It's like you see the works happening. And the crazy thing is, even though we have so much faith, the deception and the illusions, it just grows with our faith. It's like now that we won't even understand the illusion at a higher level until we get there. And once you get there, it's just like, there's more. There's always more. This world is wrapped around infinitely in illusion. Like I said, everything is backwards. Everything is backwards. Every story that you love, you are the person that's blocking spirit. You are that person that you don't like. And this is why it triggers you so much, because it's triggering that part in you where your conscience is telling you, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. Oh, I hate this guy. You, yourself. Yes, I know. And it's crazy. But officious, getting back to officious, is the sense of time, right? That's the conscious sense. And the Clair-Sense of care. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't found it. But I know it's there because all of the signs have it. And since they want to hide things so efficiently, that means that there's a lot more to discover. But moving on, we're going to go to O. So as I said before, there's the 10 eyes, and then the 5 oracles, and then the 5 united, actions, that kind of thing between both of them. Between oracle and I, we act together in unity actions, right? There's 5 unity actions. So O is oracle, and we're going to start off with the world of emanation, which is the past life. And this has to do with who this is all about. Has to do with something in a past life, or who you used to be. That's a past life too. Who you used to be is coming up to play. Yeah, that's it. Who you used to be has held you back for long enough. So you are being drawn to sacred places, ancient knowledge, past lives, ancient wisdom, and holy gifts. The connection to your current relationship or situation has deep roots, and is perhaps much more than you may have anticipated. Dive into ancient wisdom for your answers at this time. Drawing this card can indicate past life connections, karmic contracts, vows, commitments, or even feelings of atonement. You can meditate with the pyramid to access ancient magic, create sacred space, welcome informative galactic downloads from the universe, and encourage ascension for your body, mind, and spirit. So, I literally just mentioned that your soul and your spirit is not their first time here. Only your body and mind's first time. And our proprioception, our body awareness, is basically going hand in hand with our solar plexus, which is basically free will. Will to do and a will not to do. Free will. So, what is this all about? Man, I just mentioned keys. Oh man. Keys. Talisman. What is the key? It's about keys. These perspectives are all chakras, and they are doors. Chakras are doors, and when the doors open, the energy is coming out. But is the energy being used by you or something else? So those are the two factors when it comes up to the door. Is it open or closed? And are you using the energy that's coming out, or is somebody doing that and not you? So yeah, talisman. The talisman represents new doors opening for you now. New pathways are present at this time. It also invites you to find and create and charge the appropriate symbol, amulet, or mantra to help you support your current endeavors or healing. Empower this talisman with your intention to invoke its magic in your everyday life. Meditate with this card to act as a powerful road opener to a new adventure or opportunities to discover hidden talismans of power, love, and peace. As I said before, I was literally just talking about keys and doors, and then this came out, so I don't even know what to say. So that was just confirmation. That's what it is. You need the keys. That's what feeds your manifestation. All of those seeds that you planted, in a sense, the keys are what feeds it. The keys are what nurtures it. The keys are very important right now. Moving on to wind, right? It has to do with fire, and that's perfect to be over here because, well, not perfect, but it's good to be over here because it supports. So fire, light, creativity, drive, purity, passion, and new opportunities. The element of fire can free you from boredom, clear karma, and give you the energy required to take action. Be warned though, too much fire can also burn, so be mindful of utilizing this energy wisely by channeling it creatively. Meditate on this symbol with the assistance of a candle to inspire creativity, motivation, and passion. So this is fire right here. And when your soul is in control, your spirit nor your conscious has control. And these two have to take a back seat. And whatever your soul's purpose is, takes precedence. So what does that even mean? Our spirit has something that it wants to do. Our conscious mind, us, has something that it wants to do. And when those two align and can help each other, then you get to your soul's purpose. And that eliminates everything out the way. I hope I explained that. So that's when you get that together. Where is soulmate? So the lovers came up and then soulmate came out. So that's that. A significant partnership, soul connection, and the meeting of kindred spirits. Drawing this card means you have met a soul connection connected relationship. While this can indicate a romantic connection, it can also signify any relationship meant to work together on a soul level. This partnership is special. Learn from each other, be good to each other, and be in gratitude for the connection. Even our perceived adversaries are profound soulmate connections. You know what? Body doubling. I was just saying it. Basically, to make other people understand what body doubling is, you know how when a beautiful woman walks in the presence of good men, we just prop up, we sit up straight, we poke our chest out, we flex and all this other stuff? The same reaction happens in your mind just being next to somebody with a good spirit. So it's like you have no choice but to immediately manifest whatever's happening because you have the energy to. It's not like you're siphoning it, but it sounds like it. So you need clean friends. The better, the purer the energy, the better. So lastly is why, and it's magic. Because you are a magical being. You are a magical being. Time to stop hiding the awe-inspiring abilities you have to connect to divine. Drawing the Pinnacle invites you to connect with your personal magic on a deeper level at this time. Working with the phases of the moon in ritual with herbs, candles, crystals, and spell work are some ways we can connect to our magic on the physical plane to the etherical realms. Oh, scribing. Scribing is writing, right? But when you say it as scribing, it sounds more like magic. So if you understand that when you scribe, when you write down what you feel and what you believe, you can subscribe to my channel, but you can subscribe to what you wrote down and what you believe. So you write it down, scribe. This is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. The more clear you write it down, the more belief will come out of it, and the more clarity will come out of it. So if it makes sense, it makes sense. If you're gonna write something down in your journal, write the conclusion and believe that also, and don't leave yourself in the emotional state. Write the conclusion, or write at least what you project the conclusion could be in a safe way, consciously, like in a safe space. Like how does it look, how does it feel? Write that down, describe it as best as you can, and then subscribe to it. Crazy. Before we get to the unity actions of experiment, express, integrate, transcend, and usin, I'm gonna fix these energies by drawing a maximum of 3 cards. So it's gonna work like goldfish, and hopefully I can fix the element to make it flow properly. Like I said, it's a 21-part circuit, and when I unblock it, there's a full circuit. So give me one moment to get these cards down right about now. The Wheel of Fortune rolled out the deck. My Chariot card as a Cancer came up at the place of Cancer. I kept, like, 2 cards kept falling out because I do a maximum of 3. 2 cards kept falling out at the right time, and I just said, you know what? I'm gonna put both of them down. And every time I did that, it completed. So the coincidences that are about to be lined up for you are astronomical. Astronomical, that's the only word. Out of this world. Unbelievable. Imagine your greatest blessing and multiply that by 10 at the very least. That's how much of a coincidence. That's how much God is about to work in your life. I claim it. Alright, so every time I put a card down, it represented time and energy, or the time and energy required in order to fix the issue. Right? So that's what that means. Not all of them got 3 sets of time. You know, I do goldfishes, I just do 3, right? 3 strikes and you're out, and just move on to the next one. You ain't got that many cards. So yeah, starting off with I Know, which is what was off with the King of Cups, right? Let's see. It started off with compassion, control, and balance. But as I said before, it was emotional imbalance. So it went from there to being emotionally stagnant. Well, not emotionally stagnant. Earth is not supposed to be up here. So you got something incoming. But let's see what the 10 of Pentacles say. That's inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams coming true. So you're getting word, messages of things about to become true. So you have to set up the scene. You have to prepare the space for it. And you're getting everything you need to prepare that space. It's not about the money yet. It's about the space necessary for the money to flow through. Because money is movement. Money is currency. Currency moves. It doesn't, if it's still, you look at still water in the world. Can you drink that still water? No. It has to be running. Right? Running water is better for you. Same thing goes for money. Money that's not moving, it's not money that is not doing anything for you, but becoming stale, right? And went from there to the 5 of Cups again. So as it said, your dreams coming true. You had to let go of some things. So now you're coming into the knowledge that you have to let go, and you see what you must let go. And now there's a uniting front between you and your spirit to get these things out of your life. Your spirit is working with you in tandem to give you just enough, as much as you need to get to the next step, the next part. And then it ended off with the Justice card. Justice is the connection between the heart and desire. So everything is going full circle right now. It's crazy. The opposite of justice is revenge. Just had to say that. So you're not looking for revenge. You're looking for justice. And God honors that. Because you decided to do nothing. And what did I say about nothing? Nothing is God. Nothing is everything. Man, my other reading. Nothing, no one, nobody, nowhere. It's in my readings. Nothing, no one, nobody, nowhere. Something like that. So that energy with your knowledge, I know is clear. We're going to move on to the next one that was off, which is I want, right? Your want. It was the Queen of Cups. And that was compassion, calm, and comfort. You had the King of Cups here. I didn't even notice it. And then the Queen of Cups right here. Just the emotions. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know what to do either. Of course. But now that you've given up what you needed to give up, it ended off a Knight on this side. So let's see. It went from the Queen of Cups to the 10 of Swords. I got the 10 of Swords again. Right here. There are so many coincidences I can't keep up. I'm really like, help me to get through this. Oh man, all the keys in your path. So everything that they did to you became the cobblestones in this golden path that you have now. Nothing's in your way because they gave everything to you. Or at least they tried to. And they left you with nothing, which is only God. So, yeah. And then you became a Knight. Why? Because you have all the keys. Now you got the armor of God. So, the Knight of Wands. This is action, adventure, and fearlessness. Naturally, because you have the Hermit here. Yeah. So next up in the line of energies that are off is I will. And it started off with the 6 of Cups. This is the area that it should be fire or earth. So energy to use, something to use. This is emotion. It dulls out your energy. It takes away from what you're doing. It makes it lackluster. It makes it anxious, and like it makes it worse. That's it. It went from there to the 6 of Pentacles. I can't even make this up. I'm keeping track of so much that when I run into it, I can't even see it. The 6 of Cups over the 6 of Pentacles. Let me see. So familiarity, happiness, happy memories and healing, to charity, generosity, and sharing. Going from giving out too much to giving out just enough. Only the overflow. Yeah, that's what that's about. I think his name, Derek Branch. He had said something one time. It stuck. He said, if your soul, if your energy in the cup right? If all of your soul's energy is in the cup and you pour it, you give it to somebody. Why are you pouring? You're giving away something that you need only to make yourself run slower, right? But that cup eventually refills itself. So what happens if you just use what it uses as its own function to refill itself and only use what overflows and give to people? What happens when you do that? You always have enough for yourself. And that's taking care of your selfness. We're going to get to this area. Moving on. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Pentacles in the place of I desire. And that's diligence, passion, and high standards. These standards, what you think that you should be using, oh, this is the way to do it, this is the way to do it, it's time tested. Yeah. We have been stuck and in prison for how long? Why are you using anything that is time tested? If you have some tea, drink up. And went from there to the Six of Cups. Oh my God. Okay. Six of Cups. Can't make this up. You really can't make it up. Like, I have to look at it to make sure it's a 6. That's 6. Like, it came out 3 times. So, when I said before, if it was the opposite way, it literally went to the opposite way. So you are impressionable. You are an impressionable person. God gave you an idea very, very young. And you never forgot it. You even laughed at it. And look where you are now. Learning everything you can know about it. And it's where you feel comfortable. Moving on, we started off with the Lovers in the heart chakra, right? And that's partnerships, union, and duality. And then it ended off with the Fool, which cleared the energy. And that's innocence, new beginning, wonder, and foolishness. See, a new beginning means that there's new space. Something that isn't tainted by whatever was there before. A place that you can now go and keep safe from everything else. A place inside of you, at least in your mind, or it could be a physical place too, that gives you that sense of zen. But I said it backwards. But being naive, taken advantage of, and recklessness, taken advantage of by who? Spirit, not other people. This right here is definitely being taken advantage of by spirit. So this is why when you're rocked to a whole, let's just say everything got uprooted, you think spirit ain't holding you with so much care right now? Yeah, spirit knows how you feel. But we come here to learn. So it's not like they can intervene by telling us, no, you'll be fine, with actual words, right? What if they could? That's a question I have in my mind. But yeah, that's I love. And this Wheel of Fortune right here literally rolled out of the deck. So it started off with the Ten of Swords, and that's all the keys to all the doors, all the chakras and stuff like that. And it went to the Wheel of Fortune. And that's cycle, changes, and inevitable fate. Alright, so there's something significant about 2014. Because 10 is right here, and the Wheel of Fortune is also 10. So that's 20. And the Hanged Man is the connection from desire to your solar plexus. Now, this is 8 and 6, and that's 14. This is the moment where your fantasies start to become real. That's what it is. When the tables turned, That's what it is. I'ma say this every time. Fantasy is the dream, your soul's dream, your actual dream, your true dream is 9-part fantasy. So you have 9 fantasies that you can live out your life, 9 different types, and it equals the dream. And this is why it's important to still fantasize. Don't give that up. Fantasy is a cursor for your consciousness. Fantasy is a place of perfection. But perfection, you know, that's all your mind knows is perfection. Your spirit knows you 100%. So that cleared that energy. The last energy that needed a little bit of work was the sacral chakra, where the emotions was coming from in the first place. So as I said before, look at what happened. This is when I noticed everything started to be crazy. This is when I came back to the board like, okay, 4 swords, 4 swords. Just came out again. And that's rest, restoration, and contemplation. That means if you feel like you can't move, don't even try. When it's time for you to move, God will like get you up and pop you across the floor. It's time to move now. Don't worry about the journey right now, because you don't know where you're going. That's what this energy is giving me right now. Just stay there and wait. Just stay there and wait. And perfection is dead. And these 2 people are essentially in the grave. So there's an ego death that had to happen twice. Ah, man. Twice? Yeah. I get it. And then it went from there to the Queen of Cups reversed. Oh, of course. I just said ego death. And it said martyrdom, insecurity, and dependence. What are you now dependent on? Now that your ego... Well, there's no really death. There's only transformation to new, right? You only become something new. The Phoenix moment. So who you are new now is dependent totally on spirit, because you decided to trust spirit. And now it's almost like, imagine you're on a ledge and you're being held over by somebody's arm, but that person's arm is spirit. But that's how you feel. Like, don't let me go, spirit. You said I could do this. You said you got me. So don't let me go. You see where I could be right now if you let me go? That's the kind of energy. But you know it's real because you didn't fall yet. So that's something you can hold on to. And it brings me back to the chariot that I mentioned in the beginning. You are the chariot when it comes up to you and your baggage, bringing it to the next place. Baggage is not just baggage. Baggage becomes ammo when you unload it and repurpose it. So, the chariot. Direction, control, and willpower. It's the willpower that you need to get what you need. So if there's a necessity, all the necessities are coming up right now. You must have what you need before you go to the next place. And that's why you can't get there. You do not have what you need. I don't know why I said it like that. But at least, well, I want to say yet, because time is relative. Alright. So that was the end of that part, and I hope I can space it out evenly so you can understand what happened, right? So what I want to do right now is go over the stream. It's known as the star stream in my regular reading, but I'm not gonna call it Dragon Road. That's OD, right? But the only thing that I can think of is, I forgot the name, Infinity Road on Dragon Ball Z. The Dragon Road, I forgot it. I forgot the name of it. You can't make it up, because After all that emotional stress, boundaries came up over the emotions. We're gonna talk about it. Okay. Nature spirits has been coming out, and like every other reading, it's crazy. Nature wants to talk. It's time. Oh man. And nature is of the divine feminine, right? Well, nurture is. And we were talking about Neo in the beginning. So that's that triple non-ether nature. Nurture. Transformation. Transcendence, transformation. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm gonna make sure I edit this so properly that you get all the information. Come back to it. And guides on how to ascend. Your spiritual guides. What animals have you been seeing recently? Don't think of this as water. Think of this as ether. Those are vibrations. Before I put these cards down, in a sense, there was a balance of the whole mind. There was the unconscious, and then there was the conscious senses, right? We talked about those. Then it was the unity in them. Basically, to get to unity, it required some kind of connection. And I did that with care when I put these clarification cards down. So now it's connected and balanced at the same time. So now that it's balanced, we're going to go into how we grow. So these are unity actions. So the unity action of experimentation with spirit and mind is air. That's how you can experiment. So if I said that correctly, hopefully I did. Let's get to it. In regards to what you experiment with, it's air. Logical, critical thinking, facts, information, research, and reasoning are required at this time. You may also need more information before proceeding, as I said before. You don't got the keys. Or at least you know you don't got it, which means that you got it already. God can trust you because you're humble enough not to know that you don't know. Drawing this card asks you to call on the element of air to help you find healthy resolutions. Meditate with this symbol to call on more of the air element in your life. Enhance logical thought and inspire new ideas. Use incense, channel writing, and journaling to enhance the power of this element. So, incense go through the ether, and if energy is going through crystals in the ether, the energy is changing. Because energy, I want to say, operates like light. And when light passes through crystals, or when energy passes through crystals, I believe it's new. So when you put incense in the air, you're putting everything in the air that changes, well, the negative and the positive ions in the air. And then on and so forth. So feng shui. Feng shui. Next up, in expression, you can express boundaries. Stand your ground. Be your own guardian and take up space. This is not the time to play small. Honor your space and create healthy boundaries in your situation. Meditate on this symbol when you want to set a healthy boundary and stick to it. The Yagua can also help you keep your integrity and standards high. So, crazy thing, where's those standards? High standards, I just saw it. Where was high standards? I don't remember where high standards was, but I remember reading it, right? So, not that high standards are bad, but standards are needed. When it's high, the ego's at play and the fantasy is set in. When it's just boundaries and standards, that's the things that yourself has set up for you. The limits of yourself, the extent of yourself. So whichever way you stretch and you do anything, you'll be calm, relaxed, you'll have the space, you can breathe easy, you can flow. In the area of integration, what you're going to put into your life, how you integrate, basically what you add to your life and the patterns that you add to your life to change it. This is a constant. So nature spirits. So, elementals, fairies, devas, and other nature spirits request your presence. It is a time to venture outside, get into nature, and recharge your batteries with the trees, the grass, the mountains, the desert, and the sea. There is a magic that awaits you when you commune with nature. So the magic I just mentioned, the magic out here, why? There's a magic that happens when you commune with nature. And that was the key right there. Nature or nurture. When you communicate with your spirit and how it can nurture you, yourself. Well, yeah, you. Your totality. So next up, in the area of transcendence, we have transformation. And that's the butterfly. You kind of know what this is, but let's read it. The butterfly goes through many stages before it becomes the beautiful creature it is. Honor your process and allow your beauty to be seen by all. Wear more color to help announce the arrival of your exquisite transformation. Meditate on this when you want to call more beauty, grace, and acceptance during times of transition. Transition, they always call like, oh, somebody transitioned, somebody died. Right? Somebody died, somebody transitioned, somebody passed. Let me just say passed. Right? So, that's a transformation in itself. You were one thing, and then now you are something else, definitely. Because the only thing you cannot be, ever, is not conscious. You have a mind, so wherever that energy goes, you will be conscious of it. We sleep, and we don't know what's happening in our dreams, specifically. But, are we conscious of it? Are we? But we wake up, and we have a conscious memory of it. So, were we there, or were we not? Where are we? There's so many questions to have once you start thinking that way. And it's all in transformation because the lies are being uprooted by the guides, which is the last card of this reading, and it is ascendance, how you ascend, how you become the better thing. Just think about what you've been seeing recently. I've been seeing bees recently, so it's probably for me right now. Your spirit guides and ancestors are calling to you now. They surround you with their love and protection and also offer you their wisdom. Allow these helping spirits into your world today. You are not alone. Meditate on this when you need assistance from your spiritual team. Literally having nothing prepares a space for a spirit to give you everything. And you're guided into a place that's very, I don't even know the word. I don't know how to say this word right now. Tumultuous. I haven't said that word in so long. I'm right there. I know somebody gonna know it. But yeah, your guides are always there. God is always behind your guides, there for your guides. So there's help everywhere, and it's all up to us to know what they're saying, to understand it, to understand the spirit. It's up to us because we have the mind to. So, if you like this reading, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you heavy. This will be, eventually, this Zin-Finity Board will be an app for all readers and all, they're called querents, but readees, I'm going to just say readees, right? People who get readings. It's going to be for everybody who's interested in any type of spiritual science and knowledge. And it's going to be a place for, finally going to be a place for us to commune and not be, and find that community, that village, right? I want to see that village before I pass. I want to see that village so bad. So, God gave me the idea, and I look forward to building it. So with all that said and done, I hope you have the perspective that you're looking for. I hope this was able to clear your mind. I hope this was able to formulate some things and basically transmute the energy, at least into the next place, right? So, if the devil can't understand you, then he gotta learn you over again. So that's the reason for the good perspective. So with all that said and done, I'm Kai-Fi. Peace. Peace.